Well, this is it. This is the bottom of the Abomination vaults. This is level 10, Temple of Nimbleoth. It's also the empty vault. Pretty cool place. This is a badass setup by Blackbard Studios that really everybody should do something for the final encounter of any AP. Honestly, it takes so long to get to the end of an adventure path and not to TPK in the few encounters before it, which are always really tough, that you actually made it to the end. You should have something special that you do with it. And especially when it comes to a mega dungeon, you know we don't do that much video, but I sat down and was like, I have to do something with this tonight before we pack this up, because we already have a deadline and we have a lot of stuff we have to get for the next project, and we don't get much time. Like it's like you play, and then I would say we get like between projects, sometimes like a month to process what happened, get our data collected, how it ended, whatever, and then get the data collected, compiled, sent off, get the report written, all that, and then move on to the next project. And it's the reason why when everyone's like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you leave this content? Like, can you do that? No, like we can't. Our role is to play. Our role is to play. And it's rare that I get to make something like this, but I had to do this with level 10 because it is that special. And we had such an amazing time on this. And I've been very lucky in my gaming career to see the bottom of several mega dungeons. And my advice, if you've seen our seminars and things like that, my advice is always to GMs, players out there, you have to savor it. You have to assume, like a mountain peak, that you are not going to see the top of that peak again. That it sounds cool when you're coming off the peak to be like, oh man, like we're going to come back up here. Like we're definitely going to, this peak is so awesome. Like we're climbing this mountain again. But the reality is you're probably not going to play that mega dungeon again. And even though it was really cool, the second time you play it, you may not make it. Your group might succumb to all the things that end campaigns. And I don't mean TPK. I mean all the things that end campaigns. So I had to do something with this. I've been walking these halls for 2 weeks. I will not break this down. The group's going to get here tomorrow morning. They're here for another thing we're doing for the next project, and they're gonna be like, Adam, like what? Like, I seriously did not break down. Look at this thing. Check this out. So I did not break this thing down. I couldn't do it. Look at this level. It's too special. I would say level 10 it's up there with, like, in size. This is not the biggest level. Level 9 is, of course, the biggest level in the vault. It's like an adventure of its own, but it is up there with levels 5 and 6, I want to say, as I would put it. 9 is the largest, and this is just off the top of my head. 9 is the largest. 6 or 5 is the next largest, and then 6 or 5 again, and then 10. So it's like maybe top half, but it's still, when you're walking through it, it's going to seem a lot larger. There's this illusion going on with this level where you have to, like, you come in down here and then, you come across and you have to, like, do these challenges, right? So there's like a challenge here and then a challenge here and then a challenge here. And then at the very end, you get to sort of like this pool area where you get drained, and then that's going to really mess you up in the final battle. When you reach here, you have to go through a little temple, of course, and hopefully you don't discover the secret door, because it's easy to discover, and then you end up fighting this crazy Darklands creature that will just probably, like, wipe somebody out before the final battle. So hopefully you just don't do that, come right to the final battle, and then face Belcora in the empty vault. And of all the levels, like, man, this was just a crazy. It was fun to draw, a lot of fun here, but just a crazy level. We had a good time with it. Challenge of the Swamp. This, I will never forget this fight. I mean, it was nasty. These 3 Void Bracken Chuls were just trashing us. Like we normally like do pretty well against that stuff, but you come in, like you drop down on these tubes and you land in the swamp, and then they pinned us against the wall and they had AOOs. Like we were getting trashed because we're all gunslingers. So we were provoking left and right. Only the way the Drifter was able to like not provoke an attack when she hit with, like, I think it was she hit with her sword, and then that prevents like her from provoking when she fires her gun. So she was doing great. But everybody else was just getting torn up in there. Almost actually died before we reached the end, I think, in that one. But there was definitely some sweat going down. But yeah, this is just such an awesome level. I would love to play it another time. I would love to run this thing at a convention. Of course, it'd be fun to put this up on a table somewhere for people. It looks so sick. Let me just, here, let's do this. Let me take this. There we go. That is what it looked like when we played it. So we actually had it shifting. The lights do all kinds of cool stuff. And I'll do a lot more of that on the Patreon, and we'll break it down exactly what's going on here. Because it is really a sick build by Blackbard Studios. And you got to kind of have something just super cool for that final battle. Look, even the pools have lights under them, right? And it has the 7 rivulets and all this stuff going on where the Ebon lens is in the middle, and then Belcora, we had her like hovering up in there, and then I just, had a great time trying to beat the players here. But Belcora did get embarrassingly knocked out, and yet they still TPK'd. But that is a story for another day. In the meantime, next time you reach the bottom of a mega dungeon like this, especially Pathfinder's largest mega dungeon, savor it. Savor it.